Hey everybody, welcome to Garden Time with Belle. Well, if you like a good garden renovation, you are in the right spot today because I'm going to take you along with me as I renovate this 15-foot long, narrow little flower bed that we have actually in the front of our house. It's west facing, so this is full sun, and it's only about 2 foot, a little over 2 feet wide. And that is important when you're selecting shrubs and plants. Are they gonna fit? And so I'm gonna share with you in just a little bit what's gonna go in this stretch of our garden bed. But I don't know if you have had the experience that I have many times in gardening, and that is once you start a project, it kind of morphs into a bigger project. And actually, my husband and I have been out here most of the morning. We've been out here for about, I don't know, 2 to 3 hours already doing a different project to get ready for planting in these beautiful shrubs. So before I share with you all what we did earlier, I'm going to invite everybody to please like and subscribe to my channel. So if you like my channel, if you subscribe, if you leave a comment, which I hope you do, those are all ways that helps me grow my channel and reach more amazing gardeners just like you. So I'd really appreciate that. Okay, so let me tell you what we accomplished this morning. And I actually didn't film a lot of it because we were working really hard together, but I did have a few things that I filmed, and so I'll try to put those on the screen as I'm talking to you. So basically what we ended up doing is completing our drip irrigation. We have flower beds that surround our entire home, and all of them have been put on drip irrigation except for about a 50-foot length in the front of our house. None of this has been on irrigation before, and I would end up having to hand water a lot of the things that line the front of our house. And so I thought, you know what, let's do it. Let's get that done, and we will be complete in terms of drip irrigation. I mean, you never say never, but I'm delighted with that. So yeah, so that's what we did this morning, and it really was an easy job. What wasn't so easy is my husband actually, and he did this not today, but a couple of days ago, he trenched a line for the main line, the water line, underneath the sidewalk to connect what we already had on drip on that end of the house to this new 50-foot run of line. So we ran the main line, which is a 1/2-inch black tubing, and then we plugged in our 1/4-inch tubing off of the black main line, and surrounded all of the existing shrubs and roses, and then of course ran brand new lines for this bed as well. So yeah, we worked together. I think it took us probably, oh, look down, no watch. Took us probably, I don't know, maybe 2 to 3 hours working together to get it done, and it is done. So now I can get to planting. And because we spent most of the morning installing brand new drip irrigation all along the front of the house, I don't know, I'm fighting some clouds. You can't see, of course, behind the camera, but I'm seeing some dark clouds over there, and I thought it wasn't going to rain anymore today till late in the day. I looked at the forecast like all gardeners do. So I am sort of racing the rain, and quite honestly, you know, if it starts to rain, I'll push pause and I'll come back tomorrow or the next day and finish the project and bring you along for that. But let's go ahead and get started. I want to show you the 2 different shrubs that I selected for this location. So as I mentioned, this little section here that I am going to be planting up today is 15 foot long or thereabouts, and again, maybe about 2.5 feet wide or deep. You know, I don't know who built our house. We love where we live, by the way, but especially in the front of the house, they were not gardeners. They didn't know a lot about landscaping, because this is just an awful idea of having a flower bed this narrow. It's hard to fit almost anything. So I had to keep that in mind while I chose the plants that are going to go in here so that they'll fit, because this is the sidewalk up to our front door. And so, you know, they can bleed over the sidewalk a little bit and expand, but, you know, I still need a place for, you know, us to walk, that's for sure. So they can't be too big. I will put a picture on the screen of what was here, right? Because this is a renovation, and we had 3 spirea. I do not remember the type of spirea, but they never did well. In fact, they just weren't that pretty ever, and they didn't get very big. I mean, I needed something with a little bit more size. And so, you know, I think they were in this bed maybe 5 years at the most, 4 years probably. And I said, no, 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 it's time for something new and different. And especially one of my goals this year across the whole front of the property here, front of the house, is to increase flower power. So I wanted shrubs that bloom, that were flowering shrubs, and I wanted to introduce color. So let me share with you what I have selected. They are all proven winter shrubs, which you know I love. 3 of these, the hydrangeas, the Bobo hydrangeas, I actually purchased here in town at a local nursery, and they are in great shape. Oh my goodness, such good shape. They're super healthy and they're fairly mature already. So let me give you the specs on Bobo. So a Bobo hydrangea is a panicle hydrangea. It loves sun, great. This is west facing and it gets a ton of sun, and it's a petite version of a panicle hydrangea. It flowers in summer and all the way through fall. The great thing about this, and I'll try to put a picture on the screen of this particular shrub, when it comes out in summer, the flowers are white. But as it moves into fall, the same flowers turn a beautiful soft pink color. So when you can get a shrub that produces, number one, gorgeous flowers, and number two, the flower color changes over the season, oh, I love that. Okay, let's see, what else does it say? Oh, hardiness zone 3 to 8. I'm a zone 6, perfect. And it's petite, it's a Bobo. So it says 2.5 to 3 feet tall and 3 to 4 foot wide. So again, if it really does get as wide as it says, it's gonna come out here a little bit on the edge, but that's okay. I'm all right with that. But so that's what I've got. I've got 3 of those positioned here in the center. So beautiful. And so I'm going to place them, I'm going to plant them about 3 foot apart because I want them to actually form a bit of a hedge. I want them to actually touch when they get to their mature size. And what you all know probably, if you have experience growing shrubs or perennials, you know the old saying, the first year they sleep, they're baby plants. So, you know, they'll bloom this year, but they won't, you know, put on a ton of size. The second year they creep, the third year they leap. And I have grown many other beautiful proven winners panicle hydrangeas in my garden, and that's absolutely been my experience. Little Lime Punch, probably my favorite. Hydrangea is on the smaller side, and it did the whole sleep, creep, leap. And Limelight Prime, which is a bigger panicle hydrangea. They're on the back side of the house, and this is just their second year, so they are starting to creep up in size. Okay, so I've got my 3 Bobo hydrangeas in the center, and then I flanked on either end a buddleia, a butterfly bush, and I had to look for a dwarf variety, and so I selected Pugster blue. I'll get a picture up on the screen so you can see how gorgeous this is. So again, I needed them to be on the petite side, but I wanted flowering shrubs, flowering perennials, and I think the white turning a soft pink with this beautiful deep blue-purple butterfly bush on either end, I think that's gonna look fantastic together. All right, so here are the specs. Like most buddleias, butterfly bush, they like full sun. They flower all through summer and into fall. They just pump out the blooms for sure. They're hardy in zones 5 through 9. I'm a 6B, that's great. And Pugster, small. They get about 2 feet tall and 2 feet wide. So the hydrangeas will be bigger, and then they'll step down on either end to a little bit shorter shrub with these gorgeous, gorgeous deep blue/purple panicles. Well, they're not panicles, but you get the idea. Let's see, and spacing about 2 feet apart is what's recommended. So I could not be more excited about getting these in the ground. So let's talk about what tools I'm going to need for this job. First of all, I'm not sure if I'm going to use my shovel to dig the holes or my auger. And even though this is a little auger, I think it's the 3 or 4 inch auger, sometimes for me, it helps me loosen the soil. And so I might make 3 or 4 pilot holes, as they say, and then end up using the shovel. We'll see. Certainly, like a lot of us homeowners, The closer you get to your home, especially in my neck of the woods here in Missouri, the more heavy clay you're going to experience, because when they build homes in this area of the country, we have a full basement, and so they build foundations and they take all that soil or clay and they pack it right up against the foundation of the house to make it nice and secure. So I'm not sure what I'm going to really discover. I mean, we did pull out the spirea, but they came out really easy. They were shallow rooted, which maybe was part of the problem. I don't know. But anyhow, so yes, so maybe the auger, for sure shovels. I also am going to prune back the buddleias. Let me get in really close and show you how awful this looks. Right? But here's the deal. We are in April where I live, and buddleias do not usually break dormancy for me where I live until about, at least early May, mid-May. And so they look dead over the winter. And then actually they send up new growth from the bottom. So they bloom on new wood. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this back by at least half, and then we'll see what happens. I actually got these via Proven Winter Direct mail order, and I took a picture of what they looked like when they came to me, and I shot that in an email to Proven Winters Direct just to say, okay, you know, I've grown lots of buddleia on my property. I've never purchased one that was dormant before. Are they supposed to be dormant? Should I be worried about it? And I sent them a picture. So I'm hoping to hear back from them. But I'm gonna go ahead and plant this because based on what I know about how these shrubs grow, I'm thinking that's probably why it looks so horrible. So don't let that fool you. So I am gonna get my pruners out here and give it a little trim before I put it in the ground. So once I've got my holes dug, you're going to see me put in a fertilizer, and I'm going to do 2 different fertilizers based on the plant. So rose tone, I'm going to use it on my Bobo Hydrangeas. Rose fertilizer is phenomenal for roses and also for panicle style hydrangeas. They love this. And because these Bobos are ready, you know, they have quite a lot of growth on them. They're looking awesome. I don't need to be so worried about root development. I'm gonna imagine when I take them out of their cans, they've got pretty darn healthy roots. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some rose tone in their holes. But for my Pugster buddleia, the butterfly bush, I am gonna use my tried and true Biotone. Whoops, let me turn it around for you guys to see. Starter fertilizer. I throw Biotone in the hole of nearly everything I plant in terms of perennials, shrubs, and trees to get them off to a good start. Occasionally I'll also throw it in the hole for some of my annuals. So you'll see me just on the butterfly bushes to get them started with some really good root starter fertilizer. All right, so as promised, I think I'm gonna just give this a trim, this buddleia, and I'm just gonna take it back by half. Because it blooms on new wood, you don't have to be very careful at all about where you choose to make your cuts. I tried to make them above, you know, a couple of little buds, but honestly, I think they're gonna be fine. And now that I look, and I don't think I can get this on camera, now that I look where I made my cuts, actually, right here, it looks a little bit green. So, you know, not all is lost, but I am gonna go ahead and pull off all this old dead foliage and, you know, cross our fingers and hope this is gonna grow into something magnificent. So before I set up the camera just to capture me digging my holes, I wanted to bring in it close so you all can see the drip irrigation system that we installed for, actually it goes all the way to the very end to, I've got some beautiful Gertrude Jekyll roses down there. But anyhow, so yeah, so here is the main line, 1/2-inch line that carries the water. And then we installed individual lines of drip for each one of these, and my husband installed this valve. You don't have to, but I love that option. If they're getting too much water or not enough, I can just adjust the flow rate. And I will, of course, after I dig the holes, I will be pinning down the drip exactly where I want it. And then, of course, I'll need to mulch this in, and this project will be done. Well, it has just started to rain, so that means I need to be finished, and it just so happens I got all 5 of these beautiful shrubs in the ground. I got fertilizer in the holes, and I got the drip placed around each one. The only thing that I have left to do, I'm going to give just a light water, and then I'm going to mulch it, but y'all don't have to hang out with me for that portion. But for those of you who don't know what it's like to garden in heavy clay soil, this is what I'm talking about. So you might have seen me when I was digging and auging out the holes and using the shovel a little bit. I ran into some clay, but not a lot. And so I offloaded some of that because I didn't want to shove a bunch of the clay. But it is important when you're planting in your native soil to not pull all the native soil out of it, including clay, and then pack it full of something light and fluffy, because you're going to create an opportunity from the hole that you dug just to hold a ton of water, and that's going to kill your plants because all that water will stay in there. So you want to mix in the native soil back around things like shrubs and perennials for sure. So yeah, I could not be more excited. You know, you have to use your imagination, but come back with me. Make sure you're following my channel and my monthly walkabouts, because I'm going to document the growth of this lovely, what will be probably, whoops, a hedge of shrubs in front of the house. So until next time, I wish everybody out there happy gardening.